I've got to add more detail. I've got to add more depth. I've got to add more insight. I've got to do it in a more meaningful way.
Well, I mean, so you take what we've got and you're creative with it. I mean, the ultimate example is sitting on top of your head. Well, it looks like it's sitting on top of your head, but it's behind you. So you've basically gone back 21 years in the data and pulled out a stat from Inform. And presumably that's sitting, I mean, how would you use that with Inform? Would you put that on social media? Because, for example, or what would you do with it? Because that is just fascinating to read. And it makes people think, ooh, maybe I should think about putting my house on the market.
Let's imagine let's imagine you're sitting in your house, you get 2 mail shots. Or you get 3 mail shots. You get your mail shot from agent number 1, invitation. Comes through, generic, bland, basic. You get your next one saying, we need more properties.
Yeah.
And, what the hell's that got to do with me? And then you get one through saying £68,000. Now, the reality is most people aren't selling at that time. But if you've been in your house 20 years, 15 years, 30 years, which one's more likely to stick out for you?
Well, it's fascinating because actually the average time for people staying in their homes now is 18 years, believe it or not. So you're looking at 21 years there, 20 years of data. So you're pretty much tying in with how long a lot of people you have been on the market.
The other reason I went back so far, one, because it's a blooming big number, you know what I mean? And bearing in mind, 68 grand in Sunderland, we're talking about the average house price in Sunderland right now of 113,000. So to put it in context, wow. 68,000 is a huge number.
That's incredible.
And somebody who's bought or sold in the last 2 or 3 years, as well as probably not seeing that much growth, has probably got relationships already with other agents. If somebody hasn't moved in 20 years, they probably couldn't list an agent in the area. So you're in with a shout anyway. Whether you're the smallest agent or the largest agent, that's not a consideration. So the further you go back from that point of view, not only are you hitting those people who haven't moved in a long time, but you're competing on a level playing field, even if you're the smallest agent or the newest agent on the street. Yeah. So using them in mail shots is big. The other thing, and I'll flip one up for you now. I'm just going to change it. If I give me 2 seconds, Rory. I'm just going to change it to another one. I'll see if it's still in there. Yeah, no worries. There we go.
Oh yes, I love this one. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was one that I put up on LinkedIn. I'd had so many conversations about everybody thinking that Sunderland is so cheap that every house in Sunderland sells for under 40 grand. And to be honest, it started doing
my head. What about the footballers have to live somewhere?
You know what I mean? And it's just like, come on, so when I did the analysis, there was something like 29 out of 2,000 sales went for under 40 grand. So almost nothing does, but everybody wants to beat that kind of stamp duty. So I put this out, and again, off Dataloft Inform, what's the most expensive house ever to sell in Sunderland in that year? 690 grand. It played both ends of the market. It played to the market of people who lived in the 700 grand houses, but it also played on that 40 grander. By putting in their mind, this guy's got a list of people who were looking for 40 grand properties, and lo and behold, I got a phone call from
building your brand and building your. Sorry, carry on. Yeah.
I got a phone call from somebody saying, "I've got an apartment in the 40 to 45 grand range. Do you reckon you could sell it for me? Because it sounds like you got a list of people." And that was literally within 24 hours. Now, I'm not saying that happens all of the time.
Yeah.
But it was something different, and it was something that was local and relevant and interesting to people, rather than a big circle graph saying we've sold more houses than everybody else. It's probably because you listed more houses than everybody else. You know what I mean? So
yeah.